Oh my goodness, Happy New Year. I am such a big kid. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026. Okay, listen. I know I have been very infrequent with my podcast, but baby, your girl got 1,000 jobs, and I also have a lot of projects that I'm always working on. Shout outs to Married in an Hour. It went so well. We launched it last year. Took up a lot of my time. So that was one of the reasons why my podcast has become infrequent. But I want to assure you that, listen, honey, you're going to get an episode when I give it to you, okay? And I got one to give to you because it is all about a brand new year, 2026. I gotta say this. I am so excited about this year. Like, I have years in which they've been very magical and very amazing, but I feel like 2026 is going to give all my prior years a run for their money, and I'm predicting the same for you. This is a magical year. And matter of fact, I created a digital product, a digital ebook called the 2026 Bulletproof Success Guide. It's 26 principles. If you follow these principles, you are sure to have a successful 2026. And I'm going to share some of those principles with you in this episode. There are things that I have lived by. There are things that have made me a successful woman in business and life and happiness, and I'm ready to share them with you. Now, I got to give credit where credit is due. I've been given so much great advice throughout my life, but there's two pieces of advice that have really shaped my life. And one is from my daddy, of course, because my daddy got so many gems, been giving me gems since I was a little girl. But one of the things that really, really has always protected me and has worked for me is when I was a young child, well, young considering because I'm 46. I was a teenager at the time. But my dad taught me that everything is my fault. And everything's my fault, which means that everything that good happens in your life is your fault. Everything that's bad that happens in your life is your fault. Just get to the root of it and make a change so you don't have to repeat it, right? And then the first lady, Michelle Obama, I've had some pretty amazing moments throughout my lifetime, but having lunch with the first lady, Michelle Obama, is one of those that will go down in like my history memory of life changing. It was during the time when she was indeed the first lady, even though she's forever my first lady. And it was about 17 of us girls, and we were at the White House, and we had a very intimate lunch with Michelle Obama. And I mean, the whole lunch, she was dropping gems, like the whole entire lunch. But there's one gem that she said that I never forgot, and it actually is what pretty much made me become an entrepreneur. And that was, no one's coming to save you, so you better save yourself. The title of this podcast episode is called It's On You. Yes, it's on you. 2026, baby, it's on you. So what you gonna do? Okay? What you gonna do about it? Are you gonna woman up? Are you gonna man up? Are you going to stay true to the words and the plans and the actions that you said you was going to do in 2026? Is it only going to last for the first 30 days in January and then you're going to fall off by February 1st? If so, that's your fault, because don't forget, it's on you. Receiving that bit of advice from Michelle Obama is what literally made me become an entrepreneur, because at the time I was living in Chicago and I really wanted to live in California. Like, I really wanted to live in LA. And I could not get a job, child. I could not get a job to save my life in California. Nobody would hire me. I'm a journalist at heart. I had no desires to be an actress. Like, I was only auditioning for hosting opportunities. And of course, I wanted to live in California. So I had to have one of those like high paid hosting opportunities. And then I remember just taking an inventory of my life and learning like, okay, if I don't figure this out, you know, I will have to be pretty much, I don't want to say a slave, but I will have to build a life around the company that's willing to pay me. And I say this all the time. Before I became an entrepreneur, I don't really have a bad job story. Like, I had a pretty much amazing job. You know, like, I was the morning show girl in Chicago at the time. I mean, I got to interview celebrities for a living. I got to go to concerts. I got to do everything that you could imagine. And it was just a really great job. But I always say this, although it was a great job, I was always living vicariously through others. So I wanted to live. Like, that was my thing. Like, I wanted to be able to go on vacations, and I wanted to be able to start my own plan. And really, I wanted to live in California. And after Michelle Obama said that, and I received it, no one's coming to save you, you better save yourself. That's when I got into action mode of, okay, what can I create? What can I build to actually afford me the life that I want to live for myself? And I wrote down these principles that made me a very successful woman. And honestly, I began this whole empire from social media, but there's key principles that I did to become a successful businesswoman. And I just feel successful overall in life. And I want to share them with you. So this is 2026, okay? We're not playing no games. We're not going to just start off, strong and then fall off. We are going to hold ourselves accountable to become a new person in 2026 because it's on you, okay? So, all right, let's get into it. Principle number 1, let go of all toxic people. Now, I know I own a dating app. I host a dating show, and most of the time the conversation is centered around romantic relationships. But baby, no, I'm talking about all relationships. And I've said this before, but let me say it again. You should have a standard for respect in all relationships, just not in the person you're dating. Your family members must respect you. Your friends must respect you. Your coworkers must respect you. I know coworkers can be kind of a little tricky because you got to get your coin, you got to get your job. But overall, you can always take away your presence. Respect is non-negotiable in 2026, okay? And take an inventory of the people that you are associating yourself with. Who is disrespecting you? And also, who is toxic? Let me tell you something. You are a sum of the 5 people you associate your life with the most. So write down those 5 people. That is the average of your life, okay? And listen, if there are 5 people that you actually look up to, who motivate you, who pour into you, who you always feel like a better human once you leave their presence, then those are the right 5 people, and you are extremely blessed. But if there are 5 people that are draining you, taking away your energy, making you feel less than, then as soon as you can, disconnect. They cannot go on the journey of 2026 with you because that is poison. Question, who you leaving behind in 2025? See, everybody can't come with you inside 2026, baby. No. Let me tell you something. You only gonna go as far as the people you associate yourself with every single day. This is why 50 Cent is so successful, because his grandfather taught him that lesson.
You know what my grandfather told me? You don't get as far as the motherfuckers you talk to for no reason. You'll be successful as the motherfuckers that you talk to for no reason. What I mean is, if you spending your day talking to a nigga that ain't got nothing going on, what the fuck kind of information could he offer you? Can he help you learn something? Can he teach you something in the conversation?
That's what I'm talking about. So we all about our circle, the right people in 2026. Toxic is poison. It will ruin your whole life. And I'm trying to tell you, that's rule number 1. You got to let go. And one thing I've learned is you cannot have a jealous friend. You cannot have an envious friend. That is not going to work for your success.
You can't really be friends with anybody who has a hint of jealousy about anything that you're doing. Certainly about your success or your, being celebrated. You cannot.
Or anything that you have.
Or anything that you have. You cannot. I say those little whispers where somebody is like, well, okay. Well, look at you. You cannot. You cannot. You have to distance yourself or you have to cut that thing off.
One of the best examples of this, and I don't want no damn energy from Dame Dash when I say this, but it's just the best example to give. You can outgrow a friendship. And I always use the Jay-Z and Dame Dash scenario when I talk about this, because I think it's fair to say Jay-Z will not be where he is today without Dame Dash. But Jay-Z also will not be where he is today with Dame Dash. Let me break that down. In the beginning of Jay-Z's career, Dame Dash on record was the dog, right? He was the guy making things happen. People were literally afraid of him. He was very aggressive, and he needed to be, it seemed like, in order to make things happen for Jay-Z.
That shit is fucked up. And on another level, it's not for y'all to go. Y'all do not control any of my artists. That's why I'm asking questions. Everybody looking dumb in the face. So what was we doing? What was we talking about in terms of Jay? Let me know.
Why don't we just call the meeting?
Why?
Because you know what it's like.
Why?
Damon, no one.
Why? Who cares? Why? We all here. Why now you want to call a meeting?
Because you know what? No one needs to sit here and be.
No one is so to get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck. Then get out. This is not about you. We're gonna do something about Jay. We're gonna do it together. All right then, but why you didn't call me?
You know what?
You want to make excuses? You can talk all you want. This is treacherous. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. And go get Leo. You always leave when you ain't got shit to fucking say. This nigga just got sued for this bullshit. The same kind of shit. Y'all better stop fucking with me. Y'all gonna get your man in some trouble. I'm telling you. So if y'all want to talk about Jay, if there was an agenda, let's go through it.
No, we're gonna reschedule, man.
What the fuck you mean y'all gonna reschedule?
We're gonna reschedule, man.
What you mean you're gonna reschedule? You get the fuck out.
But as Jay-Z grew and wanted to be around a different type of category of people, that energy that Dame Dash utilized to get him to where he was, he could not grow with that. So it comes a point in time where you have to make a decision and disconnect from a person who genuinely was there for you at a point in time in your life. And I want to talk about that because that could be a hard decision. Like you could legitimately sit and say, this person, when my mother died, showed up for me. When I had no job, showed up for me. Like those are very key moments in your life where you were down and out and somebody gave a helping hand. And that's real. Now, are you indebted to them for your whole entire life? Is as you grow to become better, now you're starting to see jealousy, envy, toxic. Their life choices are not really that great. And the longer you stay associated, it could affect you. You have to get to a point where you disconnect. And I know it can be hard to do with really good friendships. We don't even talk about it a lot. I think we need to talk about it more, the friendship breakup. We spend all day, every day, talking about the romantic breakups. But what about the friendship breakups? And I will challenge that sometimes they could be just as painful because this person knows so much about you. They have so many secrets. They literally was there for you at a certain point in your life. And now you have to disconnect with them, and you never imagined that happening. I have had in my 46 years of living, which I'm a person who loves my age. So I want you to know, I'm gonna tell my age all the time because I just love my age. I love aging, I should say, because each year I get more wisdom and I become a better human. So I'm very grateful for those lessons. But in my 46 years of living, I've had some very close friends I had to disconnect with for all different reasons. And each time it was painful, but each time I had to do it. And I saw, once I disconnected, how much I was able to continue to elevate in the direction in which I was going, and how I would not have been able to elevate had I stayed connected to that person. So anyone toxic, they gotta go. They gotta go. You cannot go another day with them. I always say this: silence is the loudest thing you could ever say. You can give your boundaries, you can share them, because that's fair. You should let a person know, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and this isn't good with me, and this doesn't work, okay? And if a person honors your boundaries, then okay, you're in the clear because that person is willing to respect you. But if you find yourself repeating what your boundaries are over and over again, honey, say less. Speak in disconnecting. Speak in being a ghost. Speak in being gone. Silence is the loudest thing that you can say in 2026. We are not explaining ourselves. anymore. Okay. You're going to learn by the actions. Okay. When I'm not there, that's how you're going to know I no longer rock with you. Okay. So make sure you let go of all toxic people. Okay. Principle number 2. Let's do principle number 2. Okay. Execute a goal and follow through with it. Okay. This is the month where everybody, usually the most popular goal is to lose weight, child. And I'm going to get to that one too. But everyone starts off so strong in January, right, of a new year. But you got to keep that energy for the whole entire year. One of the things that I don't like about social media is it makes hard work look lucky, right? I hear a lot of people say, oh, that person's just so lucky. No, that person is a hard worker. You're just viewing the end. You didn't see the journey. You didn't see the preparation that they took to become who they are. Like, so it's never luck. It's always hard work, right? So in this year, I want you to not give up on your goal after the first month. All right. You have to continue it all the way for the whole 12 months. So if your goal is to lose weight, then baby, you have to rearrange your life to make that a truth for you. I'm happy I went there with it. I think sometimes we don't recognize when you have a goal, how you have to rearrange your life, because if you could do it the way your life currently is, then you would not have a goal, right? You would already been able to get it done, but for some reason you haven't been able to. So the goal is just one component. It's all the things you have to get rid of, you have to change in order to complete the mission. Let's go to workout, child, because your girl's on a workout plan too. I gained some pounds. It's true, but it's all good because I know how to lose the weight and I'm a disciplined woman, so I'm going to get rid of it. Although, I got to say I'm blessed. Like, all my weight went to all the right places. But nevertheless, I'll use myself as an example. When I quit my job, God, it'll be 3 years ago in Chicago, everything changed. Like, my city changed, my lifestyle changed, you know, the way I work changed. So because of that, naturally, like, a lot of times I do a lot of meetings from home. So I'm just not moving as much. So I gained weight in that process, right? So I have learned that, okay, I have to work out first thing in the morning before I get into my day. Because once I get into my day, honey, it is too hard to put workout back in the priority list. So I have to get up extremely early in order to get a workout in order to commit to it. And it's non-negotiable. It's my non-negotiable thing of 2026. Nothing tops working out. Not even posting, hosting, whatever it is, I'm getting my workout in, and you have to be that dedicated. Now, I hear people all the time say things like, well, I have a full-time job and I have kids. I understand. So you might have to either A, get up extremely early because gyms open up at 5 a.m., okay? Or when you leave work, you know, the first thing you do is you go to the gym. I don't know. You got to figure out your schedule. But what I will tell you is you can't make an excuse about it. You just can't. No one cares about excuses anymore, right? We are in a new year. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it because it's on you. Now, I know we are living in a whole new world, and I went to old school and said things like workout. And I know some people are like, girl, I got a surgery appointment. I got my butt on leadway. I'm getting rid of this waist. And once I make my last payment, okay. So I have to honor that we are in a time where it's very normal to get surgery to get the body that you want. But working out to me is not, yes, the body is the reward, but there's so many more benefits that a surgery bed cannot give you when it comes to working out. First of all, the dopamines that you get, the adrenaline that you get just from working out is going to make you a happier person. Okay. I always can tell I'm not as happy when I don't work out as much. So surgery or no surgery, get your ass to that gym because it's going to give you positive dopamines. Also, you're going to meet people who are consistent, who are dedicated, who are disciplined. they are in the gym. And these are the type of people that you want in your life. You know how I said earlier, get rid of toxic people. So your friend, if they want to go to Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Burger King every week, now, honey, one thing you might have to do is let them go, child, because you can't be eating like that every single day if you want to get your waist snatched, okay? And one thing I can tell you, as a 46-year-old woman, your metabolism does change, and it definitely becomes harder to keep the weight off in the natural component. I haven't did anything. Everything I do is natural. I work out and I try to eat right. I'm not on Ozempic. I never had body surgery. People think I had body surgery as in giving myself a body, which is actually crazy. I've never had body surgery. But here's the deal. I'm not here to diss it, because for each their own. But I just believe in hard work. And I just believe that even if you get your body taken away, if you start eating again, it's going to come right back. So I don't want to lose sight of it. But the biggest component, working out is going to just make you a happier human being. It's going to make you proud of yourself. So figure out your schedule. If you are a beginner, 2 times a week, and I'm not bullshitting with you, make time for it. Change your schedule, okay? Yeah, maybe you can't go out with your friend. Maybe you can't go out drinking. You know, I don't drink alcohol. For me, it's a waste of calories. Like, I don't have time to be wasting calories, child. If I'm going to eat calories that are bad, I'm going to eat a chocolate cake. Like, I'm going to enjoy the bad calories. I'm not wasting it on alcohol. But I will say this to you, you're going to have to make extreme changes. But you got to put your weight loss journey at the top of the list. But overall, this principle was about execute a goal and follow through. And I use weight as an example and going to the gym and working out. But this is an overall statement. If this is your year in which you want to start a business, baby, do not fall off in February, okay? Get your LLC or get your corporation, get a mentor. You got to be very serious about these changes. Let's talk about love. If it's your year and you really feel like this is my year, I want love, then you got to put yourself out there. Okay, you know, I own a dating app, which I stand by. And I want you to be on the Kendra G Singles dating app. You should be if you're single. But not only that, I want you to get outside the house, okay? I want you to get used to getting dressed up. I want you to get used to being in certain environments, okay? So this is your love year. You locking it in, no questions asked, okay? And that's the goal. Then you got to put yourself out there. Execute the goal and don't give up on it, okay? Let's get to another principle. All right. Okay. Stop explaining bullshit and trying to make it make sense. Let me say this. I question with everybody. I'm not really trying to make this episode so much about relationships, but there's no way we can't talk about relationships in any of my podcasts, since that's actually what I do for a living, right? I think that we try to design red flags, right? And we try to make them green and pink and white. These are all healthy color flags. When the red flag is right in your face, I would really question every single person that has ever dealt with a toxic person. If you were honest with yourself, you saw something or a sign within bare minimum the first 2 weeks. I literally feel that way to be true. Within the first 2 weeks, your intuition spoke to you in a way that you decided to ignore, and you decided to go forward with it. Well, don't do that in 2026. You don't need the hard lesson. Once you get the little bitty lesson, take the lesson and detach yourself, because remember, the people you associate with will determine your whole entire life. So you got to stop explaining these red flags and trying to figure out a way to make it make sense. No, honey, you see it. Now what you going to do about it? Because remember, it's on you. You know, the one thing that I know for sure is every single person in your life is a reflection of you. Okay? Every single person. And I know some people will say, well, that's not fair. I didn't ask to be treated this way. Okay, I know you feel that way. I know you feel that way. But hear me when I say this. every single person is a reflection of you, and they are teaching you what you really feel about yourself. I know that sucks, because it feels so much better to just blame people for being bad humans. No, people are just people who you attract. Now that's when we get to the nitty gritty. Why are you attracting this person? So I challenge you in 2026 to treat yourself the way you want to be treated. And if you start there, going back to what I said earlier, the non-negotiable requirements of respect, then baby, disrespect is not going to get through the door. It might get through the door, but then you're going to kick it out right away because it won't feel good to you, right? So as we go on this journey of 2026, stop making excuses for the bullshit that you know is indeed bullshit. As soon as you honor it as a red flag, as soon as you see it for what it is and detach yourself, because I hear this all the time about the word narcissistic. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Y'all know I be messing words up, child. Narcissistic. But it's the number one thing when a woman tells me why she's no longer dealing with a man is because he was a narcissist. Well, here's the deal. If you truly in life are dealing with a narcissist, then you know you can never out-argue them. You can't change them. The only thing you can do is disconnect. And that is why I said earlier, silence is the loudest thing that you will ever say. You don't get through to a narcissist. All you can do is detach yourself, go your separate way, and thank God you are no longer associated, okay? If indeed you are truly dealing with a narcissist. That word is thrown around so much, child. I mean, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I also feel like sometimes it's what people say because they want to take away the responsibility of hurting themselves. Doesn't that suck to know that the pain that you have experienced from another person, you are actually doing it to yourself? You are literally taking a knife and you are stabbing yourself time after time after time. But here is the blessing in receiving that. If you know it's you stabbing yourself through this other person, and let me tell you why, because you won't detach from this person. You would rather make an excuse from the behavior, figure out a way to conform them to who you say you really want and keep them around, instead of just honoring the fact that this person, I can't explain their behavior anymore, and let them go. And I have to take inventory of myself and ask myself the question of why did I even allow that to even go on as long as it did. So in 2026, we are cutting that short at the door. Okay, as soon as you get that woman's intuition, male intuition, because I know men be watching my podcast too. Hey guys, as soon as you get that intuition, remove yourself as soon as possible. Like, it's just the truth. Don't waste any time. We don't got no time to waste in 2026. Okay, all right. Let's go to another principle. All right. I think this is something I want to share because I feel like it's really one of the major secrets of my success, and that is daily affirmations. I thought about this because I was like, do I listen to it every day? And I do. I listen to it every day. Like, my life is a reflection of the way I manifested it for years. Again, I don't have a woe is me story when it comes to my career. I was the morning show girl, living in Chicago, but I wanted more from my life. And there was a YouTube affirmation I would go to sleep every single night. And I did pretty well. I do better now, but I was doing well then, but I want to do more. And the affirmation would say things like, I am a millionaire. I am happy. I am healthy. I am
wealthy. I am rich. I am successful. I am motivated. I am driven. I am successful.
And I would listen to it over and over and over again. And I did that for a while. And then when I first moved to California and I looked around, I was like, wow, I'm really living the life. And even videos I used to watch, like I used to watch videos, and now when I'm outside in California and I'm looking at these cars and all this fabulous things, I'm like, okay, I really manifested this like years earlier. So you got to take accountability of the energy that you give your attention to. So affirmations for me are amazing because most people, I'm gonna keep it real with you, most of your friends are haters. They're not really happy for you. If you have two people in your life who truly are happy for you, who truly pour into you, who truly, with no strings attached, want to see you become a better human being, you are a blessed somebody. If you have more than two, you are just one of God's favorites. But for the most people, you are associated with a lot of unhappy people. And what's the number one saying? And I do believe this saying: misery loves company. Misery loves company. It's not even your friend's fault, because what happens is this: your growth is a reflection of their non-growth, right? So when you outgrow a person that you've been friends with for a very long time, it makes them feel less than, because, celebrities, most people don't know them. So it's one thing to yell and scream for a celebrity you never met in life. But when you watch a person close to you become bigger than you thought they can become, or even bigger than you, it sometimes make people very uncomfortable. And that uncomfortable emotion is shown in being jealous and being envious, right? So these people are doing a lot to keep you where you currently are. They don't want to sow into you a lot of times because they don't want your growth to succeed their growth or just become better, because then now you make them feel uncomfortable. So if you're not getting that daily affirmation, well, first of all, you should cut those people off. And I talked about that earlier. But if you haven't cut them off yet, you have to get motivational affirmations that are speaking life onto you. I am here to tell you what I know for sure. Shout out to Oprah, who, I'm not sure if she coined the phrase, but she definitely says the phrase, what I know for sure. Before I interview single people, and I've been doing it now for 5.5 years, it will be 6 years, April of 2026. Can y'all believe it? All I did was interview very successful celebrities. Like, that was my job. And the one thing that all these celebrities had, even though they had different professions, they truly believed in themselves. And you cannot tell them anything different. The best example of this is Kanye West. And I know there's so much conversation about Kanye, and I'm not really here to defend things that Kanye has said. I'm on record saying I will always love Kanye. I have an unconditional love for him, even though I do not agree with all his life choices. I don't agree with all the words that's ever come out of his mouth, but Kanye is a big part of my career journey. And I will never forget so many different things that he did throughout my career, probably sometimes indirectly, didn't even realize what he was doing for me at the time, right? So I have an unconditional love, but I'm going to use him because there's no one that has an ego like Kanye West. But he's on record saying he had to speak that way to himself to get to the heights in which he actually made it to, because so many people are always trying to put a ceiling, right? They're always trying to put a ceiling onto what you can achieve. When I started my dating app, and I'm so, at this moment, my circle of people are very successful, right? It's just kind of what it is. So when I talk about things I'm working on in business, most of the time people I'm talking to are way more successful than me. So they're like, that's good. So they're not like necessarily always impressed, to be quite honest. But I recall sharing, just online, the things that I wanted to do and the vision I had for myself and my brand and my dating app. And I cannot count how many people were just so uncomfortable for my bigger thinking in life. And I was not prepared for that because I had no idea that my ambition would bother anyone, right? Like, why would it bother you? Like, whatever I believe for myself, why would a person online who you don't even know, why does that bother you? The answer is because my ambition is larger than theirs. And God forbid I become more successful than that person or just what they deem for me to achieve, it makes uncomfortable, right? So going back to what I said to you earlier, if people are not pouring into you, you gotta get those affirmations and you gotta literally brainwash yourself. And I do it daily. Bare minimum, you gotta do it 4 times a week because what's happening is you're rewiring the information, the record about yourself that you've been playing for many years, right? For many years, you've been telling yourself a certain level of who you are. You've also been, maybe other people have been speaking upon your life. So you have to like rebuke yourself, you know, the person in your own head, as well as the people in your outside world, right? So these daily affirmations, and baby, you can find them on YouTube. Like this stuff right here is literally free. You can find, I am successful. I am beautiful. If you want to be a wife, I'm a wife. You want to be a mother, I'm a mother. You want to be a husband, I'm a husband. You want to have money, I'm a millionaire. There's countless. Like there's no excuse for this. Only excuse that you will have is that you don't want to be dedicated. And like I said, the theme of this podcast is it's on you. So if you want a successful 2026 to be bulletproof, you got to get these daily positive affirmations spoken into your spirit on a regular basis. A lot of people play with their energy. There's nothing more valuable you can give a person than your attention. Your attention is worth more than you will ever know. That's why when you take away your attention from somebody, they sometimes want you more because that hurts their feelings more than you arguing with them, you debating them. When you remove yourself, remember I said silence is the loudest thing that you will ever say in 2026. It indirectly leaves them with themselves, right? And now they have to confront what they can't get off with. They were, distracting themselves, arguing with you, playing with you. You're not to be played with in 2026. You're removing yourself, okay? And like I said, you could give a person a boundary and let them know that they're crossing it. If they make a change, then great. If they don't, remove yourself. 1, 2, 3, release them. I like that song. 1, 2, 3, release them, child. But I don't even think you need 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 1. If we get to 2, oh yeah, I guess it is 1, 2, 3, release them. I don't want to lose the thought. Ultimately, it's very important that you have positive affirmations spoken upon your life in 2026. If you want to be successful, you are rewiring your brain to remember who God birthed you to be, right? People have brainwashed you to feel less than for a very long time, and now it is time for you to remind yourself who you are. Now, okay, this is on my spirit before I go to the next point. Not only, okay, yes, you rewire your brain with the affirmation, but you also have to do the work. Okay, I want to talk there for a second. That's why I said the one thing about social media I don't like is it makes hard work look like luck. No, it's just hard work, dedication, consistency, showing up for yourself, taking self accountability, and then becoming a better person. That's what people call luck on social media because they don't see the journey. They just see the finished product. Now, as you are listening to these positive affirmations, you're still going to have to do the work, okay? You can't negate that. So you can wish upon a star, for these new opportunities in life. But if you're just listening to affirmations and you're not doing anything to become a better human, then you're going to have the same results a year after year after year after year. Before I quit my job as a radio announcer in Chicago, I was hosting my dating show via Instagram and Facebook at this time, and I was very dedicated to it. And I think there was a moment when I could have quit my job and I waited for like a year. Like I had enough coins to walk away, but I still worked for about a year past the time when I felt financially I could really do this. So I think I worked for that though, right? I didn't just say, oh, okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm gonna say this to you right now. If you have an entrepreneurship desire, first of all, test it out. Because everybody's not built to be an entrepreneur. I know that to be true. This is a real business over here, as in you got to be built. Entrepreneurs, we are cut from a different cloth because you got to take so much responsibility. And, you know, one day things could be up, one day things could be down, but, you know, you are always pushing forward. And it takes a very strong mindset to be an entrepreneur. So I always encourage people, if entrepreneurship is your desire, work on your business while you have your job. Don't quit your job until you can financially replace what you are making in your business from what you're being paid. And not the first day. Okay? Like you're going to have to do this month after month. I almost encourage bare minimum a year. I think a better safety is at least 2 years. At least 2 years of consistency in which your business is paying you more than your job, because that's the only time when you're going to quit is when you're making more from your entrepreneurial job than the job that you currently have. That's when you can walk away, right? But you're gonna have to go on that journey. You have to do double shift and double work and all those things too. But I say you have to learn. Are you cut from that entrepreneur cloth? Because baby, everybody ain't about that life. But not to go off tangent, this principle was about listening to positive affirmations. It is so key, okay? I say this, shout out to Zeus. And I don't watch Zeus. I'm not a hater though. So they're a $1 billion company and they're subscription based. And this is why I'm not mad at Zeus, because people pay to see the bad girls fight. I see it down my timeline when I'm on social media, but I'm not a subscriber because I'm not going to give that my energy. Again, this is no diss to those ladies. Do your thing. Obviously, it's very lucrative because they're making a lot of money from people paying to watch them. And I know this to be true because I own a dating show. I own a dating app. And whenever I post the positive success stories that y'all say y'all want, y'all don't watch those videos. Y'all don't be in the comment section. What grabs you is the chaos. And that's because there's something chaotic about you. So I say this, your algorithm on social media is an indicator of you. Remember, it's all on you. So if on your algorithm all day, you're seeing nothing but toxic behavior, toxic energy, that's because you are toxic and you like toxic shit. And if you can stand by that 10 toes down, it's your life. Okay, do what you want to do with it. But if you want a difference in 2026, you're going to have to remove yourself from intaking all of that toxicity, because I'm telling you, it is poison. What you give your attention to is going to affect you. So if you have to get into the positive affirmation lane and really just there's YouTube videos that are like hours long, 2 hours long. Like you could literally be on the treadmill, and I do this at times. I could be on the treadmill listening to a positive affirmation for like 30 minutes. Or sometimes I'll watch Netflix on my phone. Like if you're a person that you got to watch a show, use that as your workout moment, right? I'm only going to work out if I'm on the treadmill or if I'm on a Stairmaster watching this. But either way, what you take in, the energy you take in is going to affect you. So as we take inventory of 2026, make sure you detach from as much toxicity, energy as possible. Okay. Another principle I want to talk about, stop over-explaining. The reason why I love telling my age at 46, baby, I don't explain myself no more. It is what it is. If I say no, I say no, and that's just the answer. And if you give me a follow-up question to why I gave you a no, you're probably going to get my favorite principle that I said thus far, and that is silence is the loudest thing that I could say. I don't explain myself. I'm past that, okay? I earned the right to say what I gotta say, detach, and keep it going. One of the reasons why I don't over-explain myself is because it takes away so much of my energy. I run a company. I know people don't think it to be true, but it is true. I literally run a company, and my energy, my time, my attention is so valuable to me. Like, I am never lying to a person when I say there are 10,000 things I could be doing, but I'm doing this. I'm with you, right? Or whatever case it could be. This is just not in a romantic example. This is in a friendship example. It's in a family example. It's in any example. Like, my time is so precious to me. So I don't have time to over explain. I could give you an answer and you have to honor it or not. And if you don't honor it, you're going to be talking to yourself because I don't got time to explain it. The answer was the answer. And that's just it of it, okay? So as you move along in 2026, don't feel the need to over explain yourself to anyone, okay? You don't got time for that. You are trying to become a new human being. You are not trying to waste your time in 2026. You are about that life, okay? Because we are not giving up on our goals. We are going to execute them all the way to the end of the year and then past that. So we are not over explaining ourselves. No is a complete sentence. I think I got that from Maya Angelou. I think Maya Angelou told that to Oprah, and then Oprah shared that. I got to find that clip if that's true. But I know I got it. I believe Maya Angelou said that to Oprah. But I never forgot that sentence. No is a complete sentence, period. And I know I have a lot of moms that watch my show, and I want to talk about that principle. That is one of the principles for the 2026 Bulletproof Success Guide, okay? You come first. I know it sounds very selfish, but do you know that it's selfish of a person that gets mad at you for putting yourself before you put them? They're literally selfish. Do you not understand? If a person gets mad at you for choosing you over them, they are literally getting mad at you because they are selfish. No one comes before you. Now, I know this could be hard for moms to receive, and I welcome that, right? Because most mothers are very selfish and they put their kids, most mothers put a lot of people first, not just their kids, their man, their family. Most good mothers are very selfless women who show up for everybody but themselves. And we're not doing that in 2026. In order for you to radiate, in order for you to pour over into other people, you got to pour into yourself. And if you're not good, nobody's good. Okay? Like, you're going to have a bad attitude. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be drained when you put yourself last on the list. No, you are first on your list in 2026. But I will challenge you in telling you, with that mindset, it's going to make you show up for people in a better spirit, in a better manner, your children included. You're going to be a happier person when you show up for yourself first. Now, of course, you got responsibilities. Now, if you a mom, don't neglect them. The kids got to eat, okay? So make sure the kids is fed, they got clothes, all the responsibilities that a mother must have. And I'm talking to women because I know primarily women watch my podcast, and I know how many women just feel like they come second to everyone. No, you come first to everyone, because when you treat yourself right, and when you are focusing on your well-being, oh my goodness, you're going to be the best human being. Like, I show up with such a great spirit whenever I go to places. Like, I say this in a humble way, although I don't believe in being humble, but that's a whole nother conversation. I overpour. Like, I really can move a room and its energy, but because that's who I am naturally. Like, I'm naturally happy. I'm naturally excited. I feel good. So when I go into the room, it seems like I'm the life of the party, but that's because I poured into myself. So really what people are experiencing is they're experiencing the extra that I have to give. Because, I mean, and y'all have seen it. Like, you could tell on my show when I'm in a good mood and when I'm in a bad mood. And sometimes most of the time, when I'm in a good mood, I'm extremely silly. You know, I'm laughing a lot. There's a lot going on. I break out in songs, break out in different language, say something quite crazy. And then there's times when I'm completely drained. And those are the days when I don't show up as my best self. And it comes across, right? So as we move in 2026, if you want to be successful, you are first on your list. And you know what's so great about this? When you put yourself first on the list, you indirectly encourage others to do the same, right? You're teaching them that it's okay that I take care of myself. It's okay that I take a rest day. It's okay that I rearrange my schedule. It's okay that I change my mind. Like, yes, I'm going to talk about that because sometimes you make commitments that you cannot fulfill. And you got to ask yourself, who are you going to honor, you or the other person? And sometimes, and I've done this, you try to honor the commitment that you made. But then there's other times when I'm choosing myself, and that usually wins. Like, me against you, I'm always going to choose me because I know that is the secret to having a peaceful life. And as I do that, let's go into the next principle. Protect your peace at all costs, okay? 2026, you know, this could almost fall under the disrespect, the toxicity category, but I'm going to make it separate because, you know, the number one thing in hosting an online dating show and owning my own dating app and interviewing, last year it was 15,000. We went through a whole year, so I'm going to just grace that number up to 17. We haven't did the number yet, right? But I'm assuming 17 to 18,000 people at this moment. But men in particular has said one of their biggest deal breakers is taking away their peace. And I've talked about this before. Just like men protect their peace, women, you have to protect your peace too, okay? And if your peace means removing yourself, do such that, okay? You must protect your peace in 2026. Don't let nobody play with your time, okay? All right, another principle. Let's talk about be comfortable with being different. Listen, your uniqueness is your superpower. Many, many years ago, I always knew I would be the most successful at being myself. That would be it. Like I would make the most money. I would impact the world. I would be the most successful human being I can be is if I could just be myself. And I found a lane that I created and it works for me. And I don't try to be perfect. I just show up as Kendra. And I tell y'all, I'm dyslexic. I might say a word wrong. Like, it's not going to always be great, right? But that's just is what it is because I'm human. And I know that most humans are not under a microphone, but I am. So sometimes things are nitpicked and all those things. And listen, I understand it. But guess what? I am comfortable with being me, okay? I am comfortable in all the things that people call quirky or they think is a disadvantage. I think it's my superpower because whatever makes you unique, that's what you have over everybody else. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? Everybody else is taken. Why would you want that job? Be yourself and be yourself completely and freely and authentically as you can be. You got to get comfortable in being yourself. Now, this doesn't mean if you are a bad person, make some changes, okay? Don't show up as I was speaking a lot about toxic people and removing them, but I'm going to tell you right now, if people ain't really calling you and making plans with you in 2026, well, you the toxic person I've been telling people to stay away from. It could be you, okay? It could be you, and if it is you, make a change, please. Stop poisoning our earth with your toxicity because guess what? All you're doing is affecting your own life. And when you are toxic, you are taking away from some good soil people who do not play with their energy or their time. I have so many friends that do not play with it. Like, as soon as they feel it, they'll leave a party, they'll leave an engagement, they'll leave an environment. They don't argue. They don't yell, cuss out. They just say, oh, I'm in the wrong environment. Let me remove myself. So if everybody is removing themselves from you, if no one wanted to hang out with you for 2026, if now you calling people and they not answering, if you text people and they not responding, if you finding out that your girlfriends are doing a trip and they're not including you, then sweetheart, you just might be the toxic person. And if you are the toxic person, change that shit in 2026. Okay? All right. Now, to get all of the 2026 Bulletproof Success Guide, definitely click on the link. I will add it in the description for you to get this 2026 Bulletproof Success Guide. I stand by it. If you follow the principles in it, you will have a successful 2026. But there is one more principle I want to share, and that is release the old version of yourself. We are forever growing, and I need you to be okay with that. Life is forever changing. We are forever evolving. You know, the reason I tell my age, and I think I might have spoke about this so many times, is I watched my mother die. That's for one. But then also so many people I know have not made it to 46 that would switch places with me. Every single person in the cemetery right now who never made it to 46 would switch places with me. Life is the best blessing you can ever have. Okay? And if you don't believe that to be true, go to a hospital. Spend a day in a hospital and see how many people who are breathing because they're on a ventilator. If that doesn't do it to you, go to the cemetery and look at the start and the end dates and see how maybe much younger they were than you living right now. So we're forever evolving. Who you was last year, you're not supposed to be in 2026. You're supposed to become a new person, but there's a part of you that is afraid to let that person go. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't let that person go, you can't grow. You have to release that version of you to become the better version of you, because remember, it's on you. I would say when I walked away from my media career, and it was kind of scary. I was ready, but at the same time, I was nervous because it was something that I've been doing for over 20 plus years. Like, radio took over my life for 20 plus years. So when I got to the moment, and I remember when I first quit, the first thing, because I quit, if you know the story, I sent my resignation letter, but I was in Italy. I was on my birthday vacation. So when I returned back to Chicago, I was in Chicago for like 2 more weeks before I officially moved to California. But those 2 weeks, I didn't know what to do. Because it was like, at the time, working a morning show, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. because I had to be at work. Well, okay, technically you're supposed to be at work at 5 a.m., but I would get up at 5 a.m. and I would get to work around 6. But I would get up very early for the morning show. So the first 2 weeks when I was still in Chicago and I was like kind of packing and getting ready to make this big move, I felt uncomfortable because it was all that I knew, right? And then also when I lived in Chicago, I lived across the street from the radio station. So I was still very much in the radio station environment. And that 2 weeks was very like uncomfortable for me, if I'm going to be honest, because I was becoming the new Kendra, the entrepreneur Kendra, the one that was going to focus on her singles live company full time. And the one that, when I quit my job, I was working with a different dating app company at the time, software company. So there was a lot of newness I was going through with being an entrepreneur and starting my own dating app. And if you know the story, that's a whole different podcast from another day. But the point I'm trying to make is I had to release that job to become this version of me. I would have never become this version of me because I would have been exhausted. I had to go 1000% in my company in order to build it to where it is today and where it's continuously growing to. I had to release the old version of myself. And I am telling you, leave the 2025 version of yourself in 2025. Use 2026 to become the new you for real. I don't even want to say the new you because I feel like that slogan is so cliche. We say it every year, new year, new you. No, it's on you. I like that slogan because it puts the responsibility back in your lap. Nothing is going to get done if you don't get it done. Like I started this off in the beginning of this podcast, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received is from our first lady, my forever first lady, Michelle Obama. No one's coming to save you, so you better save yourself. So as you go through 2026, don't just look at it as a new year with, memes that are going to get you hyped for the first couple of days. No, look at it as a new life change, a new person that you're going to become because you are taking 1000% of the responsibility because it's on you to get it done. Listen, I am wishing prosperity. I am wishing happiness. I am wishing more money than you can count. I am wishing you healthy relationships in all dynamics, not just romantic and friendships and family ships and co-workerships. I'm wishing you so much great energy, great joy, great happiness. Cheers to a new year. Happy New Year. All right, you made it all the way to the end of my very first podcast for 2026. It's on you. So listen, if you want to get the 2026 Bulletproof Success Guide that I created, that I stand on, if you follow all of these 26 principles, you are guaranteed to have a successful 2026. The link is in the description. Okay, so get it right now and make sure you start 2026 off in the right way. Happy New Year. Until next time. Oh, like and subscribe. I got to remember to always tell y'all that. Like and subscribe to the channel. Happy New Year.